Hi, everybody, and a huge welcome to Glow Up. I'm so excited. Love the name. I actually love the name. I'm so excited by it. And yeah, I've been really, really looking forward to this 3 days. And I was kind of going, oh, does it need to be 3 days? And it actually does. I was saying maybe I needed to could do it in a little bit less, but it actually does need to be 3 days. So today we're kind of going to do an overview. Tomorrow we're going to go into style, and then on Wednesday we're going to go into more the mindset side of things. Um, so as I say, I'm really excited. I love seeing all the faces and putting the faces to the names and all the rest of it in the group. So well done, and it's not too late. You can still go in and introduce yourself, and let us know. Even just doing that for yourself, because I often say, once to my clients, once you've done something once, you can't ever not say you can't do it again. Do you know what I mean? So, and I know for me around visibility before, it be kind of, the sky didn't fall down when I put my post up there. My perfectly imperfect post, or I wasn't made up, or I wasn't whatever. And you kind of get to see the sky didn't fall down. The sun kept turning, and the world continued on without any catastrophe. Even because you put your post up. So thank you very much for doing those. I'm just going to ask everyone to stay on mute for the moment. If you have any questions, and there will be on Wednesday, there'll be a time for questions and answers. But if you have any questions now, I'll try and keep an eye on the chat box as all the things are going on here. But I'll try and keep an eye on the chat box, and I will try just put question at the start of it. And I can either answer it today or I can answer it on Wednesday. So just one second now, where everybody is coming from. And we have my farm were gorgeous and sunny. I know it is. I was just saying I changed location. I'm normally in my office and it's very dark, but I just felt I needed. We've been so starved for sunshine that I actually felt I needed to come out here to the bright area. And North County Dublin, Cork, outside Glasgow. Yay! You're back from the gym. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And that's one thing as well is, we don't, and people say to me, we don't always have to be made up all the time. I'm not, yes, I've, made an effort today for this, but I don't look like this all the time either. And I would get done for the Trades Description Act going to my local shop sometimes, that I'm a stylist. And I suppose for me, it's around using style as a tool, that but it's not about being under pressure to be put together and to be perfect and to be all the time. And it's about being intentional. So some days, I intentionally want to feel kind of, chilled out and relaxed. And then days I use style to be intentionally more, on it and more use it to elevate my confidence and more professional and that kind of thing. So it's not about, as I say, being done up or being, under pressure to kind of be put together all the time. It's using it with intentional. So the next 3 days, today I'm going to give you an overview. I haven't actually gone through these before, so I'm really, really excited. I feel as if I'm giving birth to them today, my archetypes. So very, very excited about that. And then, as I said, tomorrow we'll be talking about the style, and then on Wednesday. And like each day, please try and show up. And like, first of all, huge congratulations to you for showing up for yourself. One of the things when I asked them the questions, and we'll go through it a little bit in a minute, one of the things I asked in the questions about, what was one thing that was stopping, it was time. We're time poor. Lauren, you have your hand up. Are you okay? Do you want to pop a question into the box? Are you okay? Or was that an error?
I was like reacting with the clapping hands emoji for everyone.
Oh yeah, great! It's like yay, love it. Thank you very much. So yeah, time was kind of sort of giving yourselves time, because that is one thing. So I want to show up and make sure that you get something from these 3 days, that we're not time filling or wasting anyone's time. And also it's giving yourself, and even if you're watching this back on replay, I would say to you to watch it as if you're watching it live. So, don't be distracted, don't be, just give yourself this precious time, because and it's the implementation. There could be just one thing. Sometimes we're looking for some big thing, like a big bolt of lightning to kind of fix us or to kind of help us. And sometimes it's the small little subtle change. You could be on here and get kind of, oh, that's it, or that's what I want to do, or that's where I want to go. So it doesn't have to be a huge and that's work, that I do as a QTT practitioner as well, is sometimes the changes are subtle, profound. So just as I say, just come with an open mind and and give yourselves a pat on the back for showing up for yourselves today. And I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started. And share and present. Now, it's a huge welcome to Glow Up to Blow Up. And just before we continue on, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody for putting their introductions in. It's still not too late. It's still not too late to do that. But I do want to announce the prize winner for it is a guest a little wallet worth €45. The tags are on it and everything. It is gorgeous. It's so cute. It's a little key ring wallet, and that is for Tina Johnson. So Tina Johnson, I will be in touch with you, just to let you know that. Also, just to stay till the very end, I have a bonus for everybody on the call, and if they're still there on the replay at the end for everybody. And they're worth €111. So I'm all about having fun. I think, things have got quite serious, if you listen to the media and you listen to the news and all the rest of it. And even I know from myself and my business, I maybe had lost, it was, the fun element. So I am all about bringing back the fun, and even the name here, brings some fun. So that is our prize winner is Tina Johnson, and I will be in touch with her. So when I was asking some of the questions about, what it was that you wanted to glow up, it was, what would you do if you felt more glowed up, if that's even a word. It was like, you'd say you were going to more events. Now, I know I did a post recently about networking, and it literally blew up. I got so much reaction, a lot of it in the DMs. So a lot of people maybe not commenting, but a lot of people commenting in the DMs, totally resonating, not going to events, not feeling yourself, not feeling maybe, it's put together, not professional, not, and just maybe feeling a little bit low in yourself, and just not going to events. So we're going to try and move the dial on that. Say yes to more things, maybe yes to going out with friends, yes to hobbies, yes to, and again, it's yes to things that are aligned with what you want to do and where you want to go. It's not just saying yes to things that because you're people pleasing. That's a very different yes. So this is kind of stopping and kind of going, oh, is this something that I'd like to do, something I'd want to do? And there's a difference between you kind of saying no to something because you don't want to do it, and saying no to something because you're stopping yourself from doing it. And it's getting that kind of clarity and that intention around why the answer is either a yes or no. People were saying they'd put themselves out there more. One lady said she'd stand tall celebrating her milestone birthday, and I get that. I had celebrated my 50th birthday this year, so I get the milestone birthday. Didn't go quite according to plan. And it's different because it was funny, because when I was 40, I was going to be fab at 40, and I lost 2 stone, and it was all about, and there was nothing wrong with that, but it was just the intention behind it, and the kind of, I didn't feel, it was kind of, again, it's always about where you're coming from, whether you like your reasoning why. And for me, it was driven by fear, and it kind of that I had to be fab at 40, and I had to be, you're fab at whatever age you are. It was fab at 40, and it was, about losing weight, and if I lost the weight, then I'd be fab at 40. So it was a little bit different. I was sick this year, but I did get to go away to Austria, but it just gave me a different perspective. It wasn't, I've decided I was already fab, and if I lost weight, or if I did, or if I had anything else, it was an extra. So somebody was saying they'd go for promotion, people kind of putting themselves out, going for presentations, going for things. Drop into the comments if your one is there, what would you do if you felt more confident? And I say, the glow up is about using style as a tool to help you more confidence, but it's styling inside and out. It's not just this physical style. That's where we're doing the mindset on Wednesday. It's inside and outside. Reclaim yourself and your style. Be amazing. And the thing is, you already are amazing. But maybe you need a little bit of help to, you know, to polish that diamond again. Do you know what I mean? To find yourself. It's like there's a kind of a fable about, you know, there was a golden, I think it was a golden urn, a golden jug, and it was all covered because back, it was a long time ago, back. They covered it in mud so the soldiers wouldn't steal. They were stealing all, they were raiding the villages and stealing all of the, and they found out years and years later that the actual, this thing that they had looked at that they just thought was a dirty kind of, was actually, when they took it away, it was actually gold, beautiful golden chalice. So we are beautiful golden chalices. And there might be stories, or there might be knocks we've had, or there might be situations in life that have just maybe taken our shine. And sometimes it's, you know, there's energy. I know myself personally going through perimenopause as well. That has certainly, without a doubt, you know, I won't say it's dulled my sparkle, but it certainly has kind of, you know, had an impact on how I feel in myself. And I know a lot of my clients, you know, would feel the same. So I say we already are amazing. We already are worthy. And it's just maybe sometimes we need help seeing that ourselves. Feel more confident, have more self-belief, and feel happier. And that's something I'm working on as well a lot at the moment. And everything, I only ever teach anything that I've put myself through, and that's with the Sassy system. I devised that and brought myself through it, and now I've brought hundreds of clients through it, and I'm going to bring you through it over the course of the next couple of days. But it's like one of the things is attitude, and we get to decide now. So it's all about making small. I'd kind of noticed myself slipping into the little bit of the poor me syndrome. So I am much more intentional now about the small little things that I can do to tweak my happiness and not give away my power. And so I'll be sharing a few of those with you over there. So we can be, you know, we can make steps to be happier now, but certainly there's a lot of things we can actually, we're deferring until, but we can actually do them now. And then the blow up, I was just kind of asking people, you know, what would the blow up look like for them? And they felt that, you know, one lady was saying she felt she should be further along than she was now. I know that can resonate with a lot of women. They kind of wake up and they're kind of going, Sheena Mac, like my son is 21 on Wednesday, and I'm kind of going, oh my God, you know, my 21-year-old. And like some people kind of get that whether you get to that milestone birthday when you're 50 or you're 60 or you're whatever age you are, and you can't get to a point, you're kind of going, God, I thought I'd be further along, or I thought, you know, so you, again, it is a thought, but it's a valid thought. Again, we'll be trying to help you move along all these with the mindset on Wednesday. You're competent in what you do, but not confident. So that was one of the big ones. You're good at what you do. You're competent, but you're not confident showing up. That showed up for one of my clients. She said she was a speaker. She's a director in a company. She said she was very competent delivering the information, but she didn't feel confident standing up there. Comparison, I think that is something that comes up for a lot of women. I certainly, again, in the past, I'm not fixed or anything, but these are just things that I would have noticed. Kind of, I stopped doing, stopped looking at other people, you know, people in my own kind of area and sphere, and stopped looking at them to kind of see where they were and what they were doing, and you know, what they got or what they hadn't got, which means there is that in social media as well. I kind of called a lot of things on social media and just kept to my own lane and kept doing what I was doing. And you know, so that's something that does come up for people as well. And fear of judgment, that is a huge one for a lot of my clients, and it was a big one for me. You know, even coming on here before, I don't know, you know, what if I make a mistake, or what if this, or what if I teach the wrong thing, or what if all the what ifs of fear of being judged, or so it is about you know, that's just something that does come up, and we'll be using the mindset work. Afraid of getting it wrong was another thing that comes up a lot from my clients. You know, I think that comes up kind of, I'm in relation to the good girl syndrome. Just put it into the good girl, you know. And I even watch myself saying that to my little girl at the moment about the good girl. Go back to that. And afraid of getting things wrong, afraid of making a mistake, afraid of, you know, remember when you were small, your copy and the circles, the red marks all around your stuff. It's kind of afraid of getting things wrong, afraid of so that's something. Lack of self-worth, perfectionism. That's something a lot of my clients I work with. A feeling of being stuck, and then a feeling of knowing there's more. So it's not there's something dramatically wrong with your life. It's just a bit meh. It's just a little bit meh is what people would kind of describe it as. So my promise to you over the next 3 days is, in this experience, I will share key ingredients that will help you elevate your impact, influence, and income with style. And it's through my SASSY system. And the dollar signs are there because, you know, this can help you as your impact, your influence, and also in your business when you show up more. Like a lot of people say to me, I'm the best kept secret. And I know I certainly felt like that for a long time. I was like, I'm the best kept secret. And clients would say that to me. So my story, some of you know me, some of you don't. I won't keep you too long with it, but it'd be just, I suppose, interesting to know why I am here and what I bring to the table. So I worked in the financial services industry for decades, and I took time out to mind our then 3 small children, who were, the eldest is now 21 on Wednesday. And I definitely lost a little bit of myself, and I lost my identity at that stage. And I understand it was a huge privilege, and we made, you know, and there's no right or wrong. That's what I said to everybody: you do you. If suited our family, we 3 under 3. So I was kind of going, oh, you know, I thought one of them would at least be in school when we had 3, but it didn't happen that way. And I did kind of lose a little bit of myself, but I remember standing here at the fire one day, kind of going, there was nothing wrong. Again, it was just that feeling of meh, bland, kind of, there's more to life than this. And I went on and I won Ireland's Next Top Stylist. And I had never worked in a shop. I'd never worked in fashion or anything. But what really drew me to it was I wanted to you know, show how to wear one thing 6 different ways. So it was really powerful to, you know, and I suppose practically that you could still be this, you know, this and this person, but you still didn't have to sacrifice your, you know, your style. Or we've different, I always kind of feel as well with style, we have different, you know, as you grow and evolve, so does your style. So it's not like the new thing that they're trying to bring in, sizing. It's not one size fits all. So there is different, you know, there is different. And again, it was using, you know, when you look at this kind of, must have. That's why I don't do you must have 10 top things. You'll never see me sharing that, because like the last thing I needed at home with 3 small children was a white shirt, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's about bringing your stage, and as you evolve and grow, so does your style. But now I definitely use my style, I would say, that as a tool, and I would say strategically stepping into as a business tool. And I will show you later on how I kind of use my archetype and how I step into her, and I use style to help me step into that as well. So then I went on, I worked in a shop. I set up my own business actually for a year. It was called Style for You, if any of you around since then. And being honest, I felt like a huge imposter. I was like, who am I? I'm a mom of 3 small kids at home. I never even worked in the fashion industry. Who am I to? And I was told as well, you need some point of difference. And I do think that she meant it in a nice way, but again, and it's the meaning that I attached to it. So I obviously felt it was a mirror for me. And she said, you need some point of difference. And I took it to be that I was too ordinary to be a stylist, and I was too ordinary to be, you know, to be in that world. So when I was given an opportunity, I was headhunted to work in a boutique locally, beautiful boutique, and I ran in there. literally ran hiding. But actually, I was there for 6.5 years, but actually turned out to be one of the best things ever, because I actually got to see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and deal with hundreds and hundreds of women that I wouldn't have probably had access to. And the one thing that I saw that I suppose led me, and that's why I'm a little bit different from other stylists, is I was always trying to educate them as to why something worked, as this works on you because, so that they could replicate it. And then the other thing was, I could see that no matter how amazing they looked, and I could give them something and say, "Oh my God, that's fabulous in you. That accentuates this. It brings out the color of your eyes." I could always give them, but unless they felt it, then nothing had changed. So I kind of felt it was like yes, they felt amazing maybe for the one day, for the christening, the communion, the confirmation, the graduation, or whatever, but they didn't change. They didn't know how to replicate it themselves. And then also they didn't, it was like putting a plaster on a broken leg, because it was actually what was going on up here and what they were saying to themselves. They could have had the nicest dress on, the nicest, top on, but if they were what they were saying to themselves and the stories that they had didn't actually, nothing had actually changed. So I went and I qualified as a life coach, and subsequently as a QTT, it's quantum thinking transformation, and also a body confidence coach as well. So I'm very uniquely placed to look, I suppose, at the style, body confidence, and the mindset. So that's, I suppose, what. Plus, I've been through it myself. I have brought myself through this. I had, I definitely struggled myself with self-worth, with feeling not enough, from my stories and my kind of stories that I was telling myself and patterns that I was running. So I have brought myself through this, and I have subsequently brought hundreds of clients through it as well. So what is the SASSY system? It is and again, I brought myself through this. It would have been about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now. I was looking at an article in the Echo in Cork. It's Women on Wednesday. It's an amazing publication. And I had done a piece on body confidence and different shapes and different ethnicities. And it was really beautiful, really inclusive, and different abilities. And it had got front page, and everyone had to hold a little thing saying, I am enough, I am resilient, I am whatever. And I had, I am enough. And I remember when I opened it, as I got front page, double page spread, I couldn't have wanted anymore. The girls all looked amazing. Their stories were all incredible. But when I looked at it, the thing that came up for me, and it's something that I'm tapping into now, is more listen to my gut. And literally came up, and I just went, "You don't believe that." And it was like, I actually don't. So I set about doing the work, because you can be telling yourself, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough. I had the I am enough sign in front of me in my office. But unless you believe it, and unless you change the patterns and the stories you're telling yourself, you might as well be telling yourself, hickory dickory dock, because if you don't believe it, and that's the thing about affirmations. Affirmations are great, but you have to feel into them and you have to believe them. So it's the stories, the attitude, standards, style, and your why. So just going into it, it really empowers you and allows you to take control, because that's one of the things that I had found that I'd slipped into, was I'd given away my power a little bit. I didn't realize that, I thought the way that you always were was the way, you were always going to be. And I didn't really realize that I'd fallen into that kind of, not the growth mindset. It was kind of, I suppose, stagnant. And that's the one thing about that. It is amazing. I think the thing that about style is amazing is once you have the tools, and I teach all my clients the tools so that they have them for themselves. So it's like teach a woman to fish, and you feed her for a day. Teach her, or give a woman a fish, and you feed her for a day. Teach her to fish, and you feed her for life. So it's similar. So you have all the tools to do it yourself, but it's instantaneous, and it's like the chicken or the egg. I never mind which one people change first, because it all impacts. It all has a knock on and a ripple effect on everything. If you change your style and your shoulders go back and you start feeling better in yourself, next thing you're doing your walk, next thing you're saying yes to presentation and work. So it all feeds into each other. So, but it's all about, I suppose, really reclaiming that you have more power than you think, and not to be giving away your power. And this is my 5 sassy archetypes that I'm just going to go through briefly with you. And what I really want today, I want you to do is kind of resonate with either if there's one particular one you resonate with, or if there's one that you kind of feel you are now and you'd like to move into another one. Or if there's kind of shadow parts that you would like to maybe dial down, and then there's kind of light parts that you dial up on it. So, you know, you use it. So for some of you, you'd be like, oh my God, that's me. That's just me in a nutshell. And again, there's no right or wrong. There's no good or there's no bad. It is just be curious about these when I go through them, and it's a little bit of fun as well. But this, I suppose, when I the creation, the founder of the Getting the Picture campaign, and that's one of the things that I could see was the way you show up, getting into the picture, was very, very, very evident, and kind of there was a pattern in the way you showed up in life. I had yet to meet a client that was, hesitant and kind of hiding behind people in the photograph or taking the photograph, and then all singing and all dancing and living their best lives over here. So I could see a pattern, and I could see how it was how it was affecting people, not only getting into the picture, but getting into the life, and it was getting into the picture of their lives as well. That's really what the Getting the Picture campaign about is. Yes, physically on the day of the campaign, it's about getting into the picture, but it's how are you showing up? How are you getting or not getting into the picture of your life? So there's Selfie Samantha, Director Debbie, Reluctant Rachel, Photograph Phoebe, and Candid Clara. And I'll go through them kind of briefly. But all I really want you today is just identify which one you are, and there will be homework at the end with identify which one you which one you resonate with most. And then is there another one that maybe so for events, and for me, I really lean into my Selfie Samantha. I probably would naturally be more, certainly had been a Reluctant Rachel, but I dial up my Selfie Samantha for for the feelings that I want to feel when I'm maybe giving a presentation or going to speak at an event or that kind of thing. So just very, very briefly, and again, take it as a bit of a pinch of salt. This is how they show up in photographs. And if if it's me, put in me, put your name into the comments. If any of these are resonating with you, or if they're resonating with you, and you can see your friend, or you can see your sister, or your mother, or your cousin, or whatever. It'll be just funny as we go through them. So always ready with the camera. She knows her angles. She never misses an opportunity to take a perfect shot. Often, but the one thing about this is I had a client that was without a doubt a kind of a Selfie Samantha, definitely. If you looked at her, very confident in showing up in photographs. But they were always of her. She always had control over it. And she had to go for a photo shoot recently. And that was really, really bringing up things for her, because it was bringing up this fear of lack of control, this fear of of her not. Yeah, it was really, a lot of it was around control. And it was when we looked at it, it was kind of there was past stories and past situations set up, and we released it and we let it go. But it was just very interesting to see that how she was showing up, and nobody would have known because she was so visible. But actually, when it came to allowing somebody else to take the photographs, it was very interesting that it was all around control, and there was a little bit of judgment in there as well. You know what I mean? If you didn't have the right moves and perfection, there was a lot of things were kind of coming up. So, Kim Kardashian, Chrissy Teigen, and Selena Gomez are celebrities that would maybe have that as their archetype. So stories. Samantha believes that visibility. Again, this is just one story. You will have the other people will have lots of stories, but just to give you an overview. Samantha believes that visibility equals success. So she kind of believes the more visible she is, the more, opportunities, but a lot of it's driven by fear and validation. So her story revolves around the need to be consistently seen and validated by others. And I know that I had to do huge work around validation, getting validation from others, needing validation from others. And I suppose that's really one of the things that I see with my clients most. And that's why my program is called The Worthy Woman, with 3 pillars of style, body confidence, and mindset, is because a lot of it is actually down to worth and how, we feel maybe not enough, or not, don't know enough, or not slim enough, or not tall enough, or not whatever, all the enoughs. But it was when you don't feel, when you're not giving yourself validation, and when you're not, and I know one of the sayings that I would have grown up with, and if it resonates with you, let me know, is self-praise is no praise. So if you think about that, self-praise is no praise. So if you're not giving yourself praise, then you're looking for it, because it's one of our human needs. So if you're not giving it to yourself, you're looking for it all the time. You're looking for it over here, and if that person. Whereas when you are kind of self-assured, and it's not kind of arrogance or cocky or whatever, it's a lovely, beautiful self-assuredness, and feeling of worthy and worthiness around yourself. So that's a little bit of Samantha. Her attitude would be, she's constantly telling us herself, I must stay on top, or I'll be forgotten. So this kind of this fear, again, very much driven by fear of not being seen. And if she doesn't post all the time, then people will forget her. And yeah, so this kind of, and it's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. My clients that are in this category would say that it is really, really exhausting. So where she gives away her power is by believing her worth is tied to, again, how many likes she receives, how many followers she has, how many kind of people saying that she's done a good job, and all that kind of thing. And an empowering attitude. And we will be doing a belief change on Wednesday. So anything that comes up for you, any of these things that resonate with you now, please write them down. Because we will be doing that on Wednesday. It'll be really, really, really powerful. If that's all you get from this, it will be absolutely so worth it. So you get to choose, I get to choose when I show up and how I show up. And my presence is valuable whether I'm on display or not. So it's just about, you could change, that could be a belief that one of my clients changed it to, but everybody will have their own. And then we look at the standards. So we won't go into that too much today, but in the Worthy Woman, I've done a whole section on standards and raising your standards. And your standards, it's not that you pour standards, I would say what you're willing to tolerate and accept for yourself. And again, that's really, your self-worth is built on, I always say it's like the foundation. It's like you can't build a skyscraper on a bungalow. And that's what I was trying to do for years. Was, I had big dreams, big aspirations, big goals, but my self-worth was on the footprint of a bungalow. So it's kind of what I had to do then was let go of the stories and work on my attitude and my beliefs. So then I can now, my foundations are now will support my dreams and aspirations. And we will be going into style and the different kind of elements of style, and how you can really use style to step into your either your existing archetype, or if there's one that you'd like to move towards a little bit. So Samantha definitely wouldn't be shy on retiring. Bold, eye-catching. She's fashion forward. She's definitely not afraid of her style and afraid to embrace style. And I say I will go into the style more a little bit tomorrow. And her driving force, her why, is she's driven by impact and influence underneath all of that. So she doesn't want to be visible for the sake of it. There is actually, if she didn't have a business, or if she wasn't in a career that needed visibility, she would be, silently looking and stalking and being a watcher on social media. She's putting herself out there because she actually wants to impact and influence people as well. And the light and the dark. So the light, again, there's no good or there's no bad, and there's no right and there's no wrong. But just that, again, you might want to dial some of these up, and you might want to turn some of them down if you find that they're playing in, and they're maybe holding you back from doing the things you want to do and showing up in your life. So confidence, she is confident. Creative, she's certainly creative. And this might even show up, I suppose, where it kind of shows up, for example, you're doing a presentation and work and you're creative, you spend so much time actually doing, and it's so beautifully done, but you haven't maybe spent then as much time on the content and the substance. So again, it's neither good nor bad, but it's just being awareness, and you can't change anything unless you're aware of it. Awareness is key. Connection. She builds a sense of community and connection through her social media and presence. And then insecurity, relying on external validation, superficiality, focusing too much on maybe appearance and not enough on the deep and meaningful connections. So again, they could be, maybe while there are connections, it might be that they're vanity metrics, that kind of thing. And overexposure to potential burnout from constantly being on and constantly. So that's Selfie Samantha. Then we have Director Debbie. Director Debbie, we all know her. She's the one that takes charge. Again, there's no right or wrong or good or bad, but she's the one that you want organizing things. You want, if there's a girls' weekend away, or there's you mean there is something you want. She's got the spreadsheet. There's any Director Debbie's here, pop it into the chat and let me know. Or do you know a Director Debbie? So she's she's got the clipboard. Let's put it that way. So she takes charge is arranging everybody. Again, for the photograph, she takes charge, and for everyone's ready for the perfect photo. So she's getting everybody in, at the tallest at the back, and there's too many at the front, and the small, all this kind of thing. So she's orchestrating and coordinating it. And the celebrities, Amy Huberman, Oprah Winfrey, and Reese Witherspoon. And the stories maybe that Director Debbie might be telling herself was she believes that success is all about achieving perfection. And she constantly strives to be flawless, thinking that any mistakes will diminish her worth. And her story is built on the pressure of always getting it right, and often feels stressed and overworked. Because Debbie will say yes to everything. It's like what's saying, ask a busy woman if you want something done. She will say yes. She is probably kind of, she will be the one, she's on the committee for she's on the parents PTA, she's on this and she's on that and she's on the other, because people know that if they leave something with her, that she will actually get it done. But it's all about perfectionism, and sometimes I suppose Debbie kind of stops herself from doing things because she's afraid to put things out, because she's very high standards. Anyone resonate with this in their business, or if they're in employment, in their career in general, that they're afraid to put out a post because it might not be perfect. And done is better than perfect is a good kind of flip empowering mantra for Debbie. So she kind of, if it's not perfect, it's not good enough. It's kind of would be one of the clients. Mute, if you just mute yourself, please. Mary, could you mute yourself? If you wouldn't mind. One second, I can mute you there. And then then an empowerment week would be, I get to choose excellence over perfection and concede without being perfect. And that's one thing, again, I think there's a lot of my women are perfectionists. If that resonates with you, let me know in the chat box. So again, the story, she's no longer willing to accept, this is a standard, no longer willing to accept the pressure of perfectionism. This is something that she kind of strives towards. She's setting a new standard where mistakes are seen as part of the progress. So our process. So it's it can be so debilitating for the Debbies, and I think we all have some of them in us, but it can be so debilitating that you won't put that post out, you won't do whatever, the presentation, you won't go to whatever, because everything has to be perfect. And it can seep into, there's a whole program coming on this. It seeps into maybe how you parent and how you just turn up every day in your life as well. Her style, Debbie is polished, professional, and timeless. She prefers, she's quite, there's going to be probably very little creativity, or or she won't be tardy in any way. It's all quite timeless and professional, and kind of probably won't be a lot of colour. And again, we'll do that a little bit more tomorrow. And Debbie's driving force is is excellence and achievement. She takes great pride in her ability to produce high quality work and maintain high standards, but she's learning that excellence can also exist without perfection. So any Debbies here, let me know. Anytime I give this, there's quite a few Debbies in my midst. And the light, again, fabulous things. Again, you might want to turn up on the dial. Leadership, as I say, if you want something done, you want Debbie to do it. Responsibility, she takes charge and ensures that everything runs smoothly. Often acting as the backbone of a team or committees that she's on. Vision, she's a clear vision and ability to see the big picture, and guiding other people, and she brings other people with her. So control would be, that's a big thing. It's about controlling and micromanaging, and controlling and micromanaging sometimes can come from that sense of fear. And what happens if it doesn't? You know what I mean? So I would have clients as well, and we would work through that. Stress, it can be high levels of stress because she's taking on so much responsibility and feels accountable for everything. Perfectionism, holding herself back from taking risks. And the fear of, again, making mistakes, and it can lead to paralysis, and it can lead to, sometimes it can lead to that feeling of stuck. Reluctant Rachel is our third one. She's camera shy and would prefer, now lots when I mentioned this, I have lots of Rachels as well, so would prefer to be behind the camera and behind the scenes. So this is how she shows up when her photograph, and this was definitely me. And when I started the whole kind of Get the Picture campaign, it was kind of around this, around Reluctant Rachel, really, I suppose. And she tends to grab a child or grab somebody or jumps in the back if she has to get into the picture. Stories, so Rachel feels that staying in the background is safer. So it's keeping her stuck though as well, because while Rachel does want to stay in the background, she also has dreams and ambitions and goals. And that's fine if you genuinely want to stay in the background, but it's when something isn't aligned and when you're kind of going, well, actually, it's keeping me safe. And I said, when we go into the mindset on Wednesday, I will be, talking a little bit more about your subconscious, but your subconscious mind is trying to keep you safe all the time. It might be overzealous, and it might be over, kind of, keeping you stuck, but it is trying to keep you safe. So with Reluctant Rachel, something might have happened in her past. Maybe she was standing up in school and someone said, oh, that song, or sit down, or reading aloud in class and somebody said something, whether it was at home or school. Children should be seen and not heard, that kind of thing. That Rachel has some story running in the background that it's safer to kind of not be out front. And so again, that is all well and good, but if Rachel wants to be out, she wants to put herself out there, this is where, like I said, none of the things are right or wrong. It's just whether they're holding you back or whether they're serving you. So for Rachel, she kind of feels she's driving with one foot on the brake and one foot on the accelerator. That kind of way. She wants something, but she doesn't feel safe. And some of these are so insidious. There's something it might be only today or over, because we're talking about it now. Maybe later on you might have. For me, my one was, I was in 6th class, and the master was back in the day. He told me, gave me a sentence to read in front of the class every day. Now, the rest of the class would probably get it. I was in 6th class, so I was probably like 11 or 12. We started school when we were 4, so we're maybe 11, 12. And I was given a sentence to read in front of the class every day. The rest of them were all given, chapters, or some of them were probably reading books and all the rest of it. And then I'd have to stand up in front of the class every day, and then sometimes he'd actually make me read it backwards. So I'd set up this huge thing around speak to protect myself, because I knew how that felt. I felt awful. It was I could feel it physically under my breastbone, that areas around significance, and it was keeping me safe. So anytime that I had to stand up or had to even introduce myself in work or to do anything, it would set up, it was like a little fire alarm going off. but it was actually while it was stopping me from doing it, it was keeping me safe, because it said, remember, you don't like that feeling, you don't like that feeling. So that's one of the very first things that I worked on, because I wouldn't have been able to do this before, or I wouldn't have been able to stand up and do talks before. So I say my reluctant Rachel, I was definitely reluctant Rachel, but I use elements now of my selfie Samantha to step into as well. So disempowering attitude is, I'm not the one who deserves the spotlight. There's a lot of deserving. So I know I would have had that kind of about worthiness. So with Rachel, there would be a lot around maybe not feeling deserving or worthy. And she plays down her accomplishments. And something that I noticed as well, and if it resonates with any of you, it's kind of if somebody else did it, it'd be like, oh my God, that's amazing, that's incredible. And I genuinely feel that. But then when I did it, it was kind of like, next. And there was kind of, so there wasn't that. Whereas now I kind of get my clients to celebrate everything, no matter how big or how small. So an empowering belief is I get to choose when I step forward. So you don't have to always be, that's, I say I would fall between reluctant Rachel probably, and I'm not always singing and dancing. I'm not always on razzmatazz. As I say, if I wasn't in business, I wouldn't be, center stage or doing lives or on social media, whatever. But I am. So I I take elements of my selfie Samantha to support me. Just go through these. And again, we'll do the style tomorrow. And Rachel's driving force is supporting, nurturing, she finds fulfillment in helping others, but is also learning that it's important to recognize her own worth and her own contributions. And I say that's all the beautiful work that we do in the Worthy Woman Academy is around that. And her light would be humility. So that's beautiful, is obviously a beautiful, lovely attribute. Empathy. And this is one I definitely highly highly sensitive to other people's needs and feelings, and that's a beautiful, making her compassionate and greater and understanding. But it's sometimes to use that beautiful compassion and empathy with herself, because she's hard. She can be hard on herself, but then empathetic around for others, and supportiveness. And then the shadow will be the self-doubt. The isolation, because again, going back to that, maybe the not maybe putting herself out there, not going to the networking event, not maybe going on the girls' night out, or that kind of thing, maybe saying no to opportunities and no to invitations. Underappreciation and fear of exposure, fear of being judged or criticized, and that really holds her back from stepping into the spotlight. And I really do a lot of beautiful work around that with my clients. And then we have, second is the last one, is photobomb Phoebe. You can see I had great fun doing all of these poses, and my daughter saw them and she was absolutely traumatized. She's like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing, Mom. And I said, if nothing, we're meant to be here to embarrass our children. So I do a good job with that. So she loves stealing the spotlight, but it's kind of in a fun way. It's not like kind of look at me, but it's kind of, so, jumping into the photograph, the goofy, the photobomb, it's all very kind of fun and lighthearted, but it's also then hiding her kind of deep uncomfortableness around being center of attention, and it's also kind of used to deflect. This kind of the class joker, the class clown in school, or if you were that person, that it's kind of to deflect on maybe how of things that you're feeling inside. And Stories Phoebe believes that life should be fun, spontaneous, creative. She tells herself that rigidity kills joy. So she would be kind of the opposite of Director Debbie. Director Debbie like thrives on everything, ticking the boxes and all the rest of it. And she fears getting stuck in routines or environments that stifle her freedom. And her stories revolve around bringing lightness and fun to the world, but sometimes at the expense of deeper connection, and sometimes at the expense of looking inwards. That it's all kind of fun and games and all kind of gesture, kind of that won't say the clown, but that kind of it, because it's kind of it's so then people aren't looking in, and she doesn't have to look inwards either. So again, it can be exhausting as well sometimes, having to be the fun one. and that people then don't value her maybe necessarily because she's joking and messing, and so. And she sometimes hides her true emotions behind that humor. She's using humor as an armor or a mask. So that's a little bit about Phoebe. And again, something that maybe a client of mine she's no longer willing to accept one-dimensional relationships that only involve, that are only here for her fun. That she wants to be, if she's got something important to say as well, she wants to be able to say it. And it's not always she feels this pressure to bring, oh sure, Phoebe's coming, so we're going to have great fun, and she's great fun, and she'll lighten the mood, and she'll talk to everybody, and she'll, sometimes that can be an exhausting expectation. And we talk about her style tomorrow, so you can, if that's you, or you'd like that to be you, a little bit more fun, a little bit more, then you can bring in the elements of Phoebe. And her driving force is joy and expression. She thrives on making the world a brighter, more spontaneous place. We all need all of them. You know what I mean? And sometimes we all need ourselves to be all of them as well. We can dip in and take parts of them. And I suppose with them, it's all about honoring you. I said there's no right, there's no wrong. And the more we can kind of, I know that word authentic is kind of thrown out a lot, but the more you kind of really tap into, and that's something, again, when I was giving away my power, kind of looking at other people and what they were doing and not copying them, but definitely taking influence from them, and kind of, that they were maybe more professional, so I need to be more professional. They were more. So the more we can really tap into ourselves, as I say, what's the saying? Be yourself because everyone else is taken. And I think the more we can really truly tap into ourselves and use that as our superpower, okay, not everybody like us, but at least we'll be ourselves. And that the people that we are that's who, we're attracting them because we are being ourselves. And it's not exhausting. We're not kind of going, oh, you're not trying to be something you're not. So Phoebe brings humor, spontaneity, inclusivity. She's great for kind of getting everybody kind of in and including everybody. And the shadow kind of be like maybe attention seeking. Kind of there's a serious moment and she kind of starts, makes fun or makes light or something. Again, that's to hide her own discomfort. But it can be kind of inappropriate, lack of seriousness, restlessness. Again, she might, if she's a fear of boredom. So again, if she's in business, she might burn everything down. She might have something in work, but she might just burn it down then. That program, oh, I'm bored of that. Or jumping from one thing to another. Now I can be a little bit guilty that how many domain names do you own? You have an idea and you say, oh, domain name, and you kind of go with that. And again, none of these are bad, but it's just kind of, once I've highlighted them now today, you can kind of go, oh, does this serve me? Or do I want to maybe dial it down, or that it's something supporting me, do I want to dial that up? And Candida Clara, so she prefers natural and spontaneous moments. So when she's in the picture, she's the one that kind of wants to kind of be caught, holding the glass of champagne or holding the glass of all these natural shots. She never wants to do these posed kind of shots. And again, she really is trying to, lean into her kind of being her authentic self, nice, keeping life simple, keeping kind of things grounded. She doesn't need to, she tells herself that she doesn't need to impress anybody, and her story is about staying true to her values, even if this means staying in her comfort zone. So one of the things that Clara is, she's kind of going, well, I'm not going to change for anybody, or I'm not going to, so sometimes she can stay stuck, in that kind of fixed mindset, as well. I don't need to push myself. She's kind of like, well, I don't need to push myself. Again, if anybody is in business or is kind of, oh, well, people should come to me. People should come to me. They're not out there kind of doing the marketing. They're not doing the, it's kind of, well, here I am. People should come to me. I'm being authentic over here. So she can kind of find that she's a little bit stuck. And again, she's kind of one of the along there with the best kept secrets. And Clara's not willing. So this is something the client of mine would be saying. She was no longer willing to play small. So that was one of the things that Clara was keeping her stuck in, kind of in that kind of playing small to keep her safe. And again, we'll go into all the fashion tomorrow with her. And Clara's driving force is integrity and authenticity, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful qualities. She wants to live a life that's aligned with her values. And again, in the Worthy Woman, we really go deep on values, on business values, or if they're personal values. And habits is another thing we really go deep on as well, because they are what you're doing every day, and what actions you're taking, will give you the results that you have. And if you're not happy with the results you have in one area of your life, that's where we look at. Are you aligned, and are your habits supporting what you value? And I know for me, when I look at areas that I'm not even, unhappy with, but I want a different result, maybe. My values, while I'm saying they're values, I'm not actually, my habits aren't supporting them. Does that kind of make sense? So I could be, say my goal could be health and or my value could be health and wellness and all the rest of it, but then my habits every day aren't supporting that. So then I'm not happy with my results. So your values are really, really important. I say we do lots around values and habits as well. And she's authentic, sincere. And then I suppose the kind of darker side of it is that there's a vulnerability. So she's very sensitive to criticism or rejection. And so sometimes she doesn't put herself out there for fear of criticism, fear of rejection. And avoidance, she might avoid kind of formalities or staged events or anything like that, kind of maybe networking or anything that's very formal or very, that she doesn't have the ability to kind of, be as kind of authentic as she wants. She just kind of hates contrived situations. When my children were small, they never liked organized fun. These if we were on holidays in the summer camps and things like that, they never liked that. And I'd be the same, when you go to a networking event and it's kind of all these games. I'm not a huge person for organized fun. But and then there's skepticism, maybe skeptical, and that seems too polished or artificial. So sometimes she rejects that to maybe her expense. It's kind of because she has different, everybody likes, different clients, different, even in work, different people. So she might put together a presentation that wouldn't have that polished, put together look, but it's very kind of earthy and authentic, but not what needs to be. She's a fear of stepping out into the spotlight, fear of being seen, or taking on any leadership roles can prevent her from growing. While she values authenticity, she risks limiting herself if she doesn't embrace opportunities for greater visibility as well. You can be visible and be yourself too. You know what I mean? You can have the bads, and again, you don't have to be visible. That's one thing. You don't, like, you do not have to be visible. I suppose for the people that I work with are people that want to be visible, but there's something stopping them. Like, if you don't ever want to be visible, there's no need to be visible, then don't be visible. I would never push anybody to be visible that doesn't. But people that come to me because they know they want, so you know what I mean? They know that they want to be, that ultimately they do want to do the networking thing. They do want to go on the girls' night out. They do want to put themselves out there. They do want to hit live on, on a daily basis. They do want, or monthly or weekly, whatever. They do want to post. They do want to, but there's something stopping them. So it's when there's that misalignment. I suppose that's when the women I would work with. So I said there was something at the end of this to hold on tight for. So there is, I am offering 10 sessions. There's only 10 of them. And these are, I'm going to try and drop the link in here now if I can do that in a minute. If not, I'll drop it into the, just either DM me, or I'm afraid when it's on full screen, but I will try and drop it in here into the comments. It is for you if you know that you are ready. You've identified with maybe one of the archetypes, or two of them, or bits of them, or maybe you've identified with one that you'd like to, kind of dial up, or one that there's a story there and you're not quite sure and you'd like to. So it's going to be a 30-minute breakthrough call for you. And this is if you're ready to move. This isn't for the person that's quite happy hiding in the background. If you are, the 3 days, you'll get loads from it anyway. But this is, you're ready to move. You're ready to go. You don't know how, maybe, or you don't know You don't know the how, but you know that you want more. You know that there is more and you want more. So it's a 30-minute session. It's worth €111, and I'm offering 10 of them. So I'm just going to try and see if I can. If not, I will pop the link in, but I'm just sometimes you can't on Zoom, you can't put in the link. If I stop sharing my screen, maybe okay, I'll do what I'll do now in a second. I'll stop sharing my screen. And stop sharing. And you've all these links open, these things all. Oh, okay. Now, first of all, I just want to ask you, did you identify with any of those of the archetypes? And if you did, let me know which one. Well, I'm popping this in if I can. Okay, there it is. There's 10 of them. And it's, if you're watching the replay, oh, sorry, it's gone to somebody, everybody. If you're watching the replay, then they go very quickly. But if you're watching the replay, just give me a shout and let me know if you want one. Maybe a couple. There wasn't one that jumped out. Yeah. I think, as I say, Susan, we can be bits of all of them, but then it's to kind of to take the bits from all of them that we want to dial up, and then maybe the parts that we want to dial down from other ones. We are probably, I know some people would say they're definitely one, but it's kind of, and again, there's no right. Rachel and Phoebe, yeah. Reluctant Rachel. Thank you so much. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. And then tomorrow we are going to do the style. So I want you, so for our homework, just if you can pop into the group, just do, you want to do, you can just do whichever one that you felt you were, and what you are, what you would like to dial up, and what you kind of like to maybe let go of, and what would support you, and what would isn't supporting you from those. Or if there's as Susan says, there's a mismatch, or kind of a not mismatch, but a kind of crossover from them, just let me know which ones you are. So I say the 10 sessions are there, and when they're gone, they're gone. Is it Harvey Norman or whoever says that? And when they're gone, they're gone. They're 30 minutes. It is for you to get a breakthrough, for me to help you and support you in that next step. Whether it's the style, the mindset, body confidence, that they're my 3 pillars. They are the 3 pillars that I work under. And it could be just, I say, just sometimes it's a very small tweak. Sometimes, it's something bigger. But we will get, that's my promise to you, is that we will get some movement, and we will get you kind of your stabilizers off, and get you moving and get you going. So thank you so much. Just if pop into the comments as well your takeaways, anything that you took away from today, no matter how big or small. I'll give you all a minute just to pop that in. And thank you all so much for joining me. And as I say, tomorrow we're doing the style, and then the mindset one. And people sometimes underestimate the mindset one, but for me personally and my clients, the biggest changes happen because you could have 2 people, or you could even be the same person twice, and you could be this height and this weight, or whatever, or say you'd be the same height. You'd be this weight and this weight, and you could have the same things on, the same thing happening for you, but you can see them so differently. You can be feeling down and holding yourself back over here, but you could at the other side, then you could be somebody. So it's all about. And even recently I was doing work with the client, and we did look at her style, and she had gone out and she'd bought 2 new dresses for work. But in her, I must actually share it, in her testimonial, she was saying that it wasn't the dresses that changed everything, but it was. She said now she was walking down the corridor, before she used to message management, but now she started walking down the corridor to them, and all that was around not feeling not worthy, not feeling she knew enough, not know, not feeling good enough, not her voice wasn't important was another thing. And when she started walking down there and started speaking and showing up, and even the just the feeling of more confidence in the dresses, and the feeling that she was getting, then people were complimenting her. And then it's funny, other people in the office now have started kind of upping their game. And she said that she actually got promoted in work. And she said it was the dress, but it's more than the dress factor. So yeah, really, really, I say it's the amalgamation of them. It's when the style and the mindset work are done, that's when it really blows up. Um, so thank you all so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the group. I'll pop in the homework later on. There'll be a prize for the homework. And I said those 10 calls, I pop them in as well, because I say when they're gone, they normally go very quickly. Is that if you just something resonated, something kind of landed with you today and you don't know maybe how to move forward, or is it this, or is it the style, or what is it, just book one of those, and we will have a chat, and we will get the next step. And enjoy the sunshine. It's like that ball of sun in the sky. And I will see you all on tomorrow at 1 o'clock, same time, same place. We'll see you. Bye.